All right, beginning of chapter 6 out of the Algebra 1. 6.1, solving one-step linear inequalities. Now, we've been solving equations since we started in 8th grade. Basically, remember we did one-step equations? These are the same thing, except for an equal sign. We have either the less than sign or the greater than sign instead of the equal sign, or we have less than and equal to, or greater than and equal to. Those are the 4 signs we talk about when we talk about inequalities. All right, let's move on. Now, this is a lot like when we're driving out to Cheyenne, out to the 9th grade. What's the speed limit when you're driving out there?
35 miles per hour.
35. Doesn't that seem slow when you're in the middle of the country? It's like, oh, slow down so I don't get a speeding ticket. Well, when it's the speed limit, says you're traveling in a section of town where the speed limit is 35 miles per hour. They want us to write an inequality to describe the speeds that are over the speed limit in that section. So I start out with, and you always want your variable on the left side. So we'll start out with our x on the left side. And what number are we working with? What's the speed limit? 35. Now, do they want us to include the 35? They want us to say
No.
speeds that are over the speed limit. So can I include the 35?
No.
So it doesn't equal the 35, right? So I can't have that line underneath it for equals because it does not include the 35, so I can't have that there. Now, can it be 34 miles?
No.
So it's not going to be what then?
Less.
Less than, can it be 36 miles?
Yes.
It can be, because that's bigger. So our speed limit includes anything that is greater than 35 miles per hour, right? So the speeds, so the first thing we do then, this is the inequality we wrote. We go right to our number line and we put an open circle right on the 35. Now I ask myself, do I have to fill that in? Who thinks yes? Who thinks no? Good, we do not fill that in. We leave that an open circle because it's just greater than. If there were the equal to sign in there, if it were to include the 35, then we would fill it in. But that equal sign is not there, so we leave the circle open. Now, always read your variable first. X is greater than 35, so greater than, you draw your arrow to the right. So some people like to put it right on the number line and do it that way. If it's too hard to see, I also accept if you want to go like this, up and over. All right? I don't want to see any up and in the air like that, all right? It doesn't go in the air. All right, it goes to the right. So we can write equations if I had this and this. If that's all we had on that number line, we could write the equation. I would start with my x, and then I would start with the number that it's on, which is 6. What kind of a sign would go there? It's going to the left, so my x is less than. Do I put the equal to sign there?
Yes.
Do I put the little equal to sign under it? No, because it is an
Open circle.
open circle. What if it was filled in, however?
Then yes.
Then we would put the equal to sign, because then it includes the 6 as well. So these are the same thing, just written differently. One's on a number line, one is in inequality form. Now let's look at the problem they give us. They say you have to be, well, this is true, you have to be 18 or older to vote. So what do I always start with on the left side?
X.
X. And we're dealing with how old?
18.
18. They want me to write an inequality to describe the ages of people allowed to vote. Does it include 18?
Yes.
So do I need the equal sign there?
Yes.
Yep, because it includes, it's equal to 18. I can be 18. Now do I put greater than or less than?
Greater.
You have to be greater than or equal to 18 in order to vote. So where do I start out? Put an open circle where on my number line?
You don't put an open circle, you put a fill-in.
Well, to start with, though, we put an open
18.
circle on the
18.
18, and then I ask myself, do I fill it in?
Yes.
Yes, because it's also equal to, so fill it in. And if you, by the way, if you fill it in like that, that'll get counted wrong. Fill it in so I know that it's filled in. There's no questions about it, so I don't have to mark it wrong. So 18, and then an arrow to the left or right?
Right.
An arrow to the right. Now, when you have to do your homework on your worksheets or a test or a quiz, if this number line is not there and you have to make your own, this is all that I expect that you do for your number lines. You would make your number line nice and straight. Right in the middle then of that, you'd put your first dash, and that is the number that we were marking up, because our inequality was x was greater than or equal to 18, right? So the first dash you put your 18, the number you're working with. Some people like to just automatically put their circle there right away so they know that's the one they're working on. And then you have to have 2 dashes on both sides. Now, there's something wrong with the one I just drew. Why wouldn't I accept the one that I just did? What's wrong with it?
The dash is on one side.
Right, they're not equal. See how these 2 are equal and you got a little and a big? Nope, that's unacceptable. They all have to be of equal increments. I mean, as close as you can get them. 2 on each side of the number that we're indicating. So you'll go 16, 17, then we have 18, 19, 20. It's the negative ones that get a little tricky. Well, let's finish this first. Would I fill it in?
Yeah.
Fill it all in then, and then arrow to the right. This was to the right. What if I have a number line and I have negative numbers on it? Say the answer was, say I've got x is less than a negative 4. The first dash will be what? Negative 4. And I have to have 2 on each side. This is when we make our own. So what goes here?
Negative 3.
Right. Remember these are backwards. Negative 3, negative 2. This is negative 5, negative 6. Be careful on your negatives. All right, now who remembers from inequalities last year? It's like you draw your line down the equal sign, but here you draw your line down the inequality sign. You add, subtract, multiply, or divide. But there's one trick that we always need to remember with inequalities. Does anyone remember that? And I want you to write this big somewhere so you remember it and abide by it. Anybody recall it?
When you multiply, you have to switch the words of the sign.
She's super close. She said when you multiply, you have to switch the sign. When you multiply and divide, but there's another trick. It's not just multiply and divide. It's when you multiply and divide by a negative. When you multiply and divide by a negative number, you must flip the sign. Always, always, always. Write that big so you remember it somewhere. There's no exceptions. Anytime in the world you work with inequalities, anytime you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality sign. I'm going to slide this over. Let's practice. Because I'm going to write mine a little bigger, so I'm going to slide it over. Okay, so our first inequality here is x minus 3 is less than 5. Draw your line down the inequality sign. And we solve it like a regular equation. So what do I have to do to both sides?
Plus by 3.
Yep, I need to add 3 to both sides. So add 3 here, add 3 here. Negative 3 and a positive 3 cancels out. So I've got now x. Do I have to flip the sign?
No.
No, because I'm just plussing 3. I'm not multiplying or dividing by a negative number. So x, this stays the same, is less than. And what is 5 plus 3?
8.
8. So circle that, or actually you guys will write that on your line then. X is less than 8. And then underneath it, I want you to put your symbol for it. Right? By that I mean, and this is what you'll do on your worksheet as well. So underneath it, put an open circle. Do I fill this circle in?
No.
No. But underneath the circle, we write the number 8, because that's what that's what we're indicating. And then will my arrow go left or right?
Left. Left.
X is less than, so my arrow will go to the left off of my open circle. Put the 8 under it because we know that's our answer. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to draw the number line. Just put the symbols for it underneath. All right, let's do the next one. X plus 6 is greater than or equal to 9. What do I have to do to both sides?
Negative 6 to both sides.
Okay, so minus 6 to both sides. So I've got a negative 6, negative 6. So x, do I have to flip the sign?
No.
Oh, not as confident on that answer. Do I flip it?
No.
But I have a negative here, but why don't I flip it?
So you're not dividing or multiplying.
I'm not dividing or multiplying by it. I'm just minusing 6 to both sides. So x is greater than or equal to, the sign stays. And what is a 9 and a negative 6?
3.
3. Okay, so write our answer, our inequality, x is greater than or equal to 3. Underneath it, do I put an open? Do I fill in that open circle? Fill it in because of this equal sign, so fill that in. And my arrow to the right. Am I done? No. What do I put under my circle? That represents being at the 3. Next one, do this please. Clear the fraction. One half x is greater than 3. What do I do to clear the fraction? Yeah, we do the reciprocal. We just multiply everything times 2. So what's 2 over 1 times 1 over 2? 1, so we have 1x or just x. Do I flip it?
No, but it's not a
Nope. So x is greater than, what's 3 times 2? 6. Write that on your line then. X is greater than 6. Open or close circle?
Open.
Open, arrow to the,
Right.
and then put the little 6 under your circle. Next one, 3x is less than or equal to 9. What do I do to both sides?
Divide by 3.
Divide it by 3. Do I flip the sign? I'm dividing by 3. Is this a negative 3?
No.
Nope, so the sign doesn't flip. So x is less than or equal to 3. X is less than or equal to 3. Open or close circle under?
Close.
Good. Line to the
Left.
left and a 3 under the dot. All right, another one. I have a negative x is less than 4. I don't have to do anything to that one. I can just graph it, right? Oh, no. Why not? What do I need to do?
Divide by
Flip this on.
Divide by a what? Yes. Divide by that negative 1. We can never have a negative variable, so you divide both sides by a negative 1. Now I'm dividing by a negative number, so what do? I flip this sign, and it is now greater than. So we have x is greater than negative 4. X is greater than negative 4. Open or close circle?
Open.
Open, arrow to the,
Right.
and a negative 4 underneath. Next one, a negative 2x is less than or equal to 6. What do I need to do to both sides? Divide by a negative 2. So x is what? What is x? Do I flip it?
Yeah.
Yes, we must flip this because we're dividing by a negative. So x is greater than or equal to
-3.
-3. So x is greater than or equal to a -3. Open or close circle.
Close.
Arrow to the,
Right.
put your -3 under it. Now before you turn, I want to give you one more example on here because it'll goof you up if you don't see this. Some people get mixed up on it. If you see a problem like this, say I have 2x is less than or equal to a -18. What do I do to solve that? Excellent. Divide both sides by 2. So, x, what's -18 divided by 2?
-9.
A -9. Do I flip the sign?
No. You're not dividing the variable or
It's not negative.
Because we're not dividing by a negative. This 18 is negative, but that doesn't matter because we're dividing by a positive 2. It has to be this one that's negative in order for you to flip it. So this one would not be flipped. It would stay the same. Cross out example 2.
Yeah.
All right, example 3. What do I need to do? I have b divided by 5 is greater than or equal to 12. Yep, I have to multiply both sides by 5. So b is, do I flip it?
No.
Nope, greater than or equal to
60.
60. So on your number line, where would I put my open circle?
On the 6. You want to put a circle.
Start with your open circle. Do I fill it in?
Yeah.
Okay, because of this equal sign, I need to fill that in then. And then arrow to the
Right.
right. What do I do here? Divide both sides by
Negative.
-1.8. So n is what? 2.5? What's the sign?
Greater than.
Less than or greater than?
Greater than.
Do you have to flip it? Yes, because we are dividing by a negative number, so we have to flip it. N is greater than 2.5. So open or close circle.
Open.
Arrow to the
Right.
arrow to the right, like that, right?
Oh no.
No, that is not right. Arrow to the right. Okay. You can cross these two out. Now, I'm going to take you to our worksheet that we're going to be doing for today.